Good afternoon. Today we're going to do a can light installation or a recessed light installation. We're with KPAthome.com, and here's a few tools that we'll need for this. I'm going to use a Corvus drill, and this is a hole cutter, cuts through wood and whatever, attaches to your drill, sets for different sizes. We're going to do a 5-inch can installation. I'm going to use a power checker and check the electricity, make sure it's off. Measuring tape. The can comes with a template for what size it is. Back to a tool, you probably need a flashlight or something in your attic when you're up there working in the dark, and hopefully it's a cool day. Today it's pretty warm up there. Part of the light kit is this. It's a 5 or 6 inch light kit that'll fit in that thing, and if you need additional wire, you can get some 14-2 or whatever you require for your home. Typically most homes, residential, a 14-2 will work. I'm going to put 2 cans in this room, but I'm going to start with one today. There are templates online or samples online. You can do a recessed lighting calculator. They're online. Just Google that. They're for free, and they'll figure out. You measure your room, and you'll figure out how much or how big or where you should put your lights in your room. And you can adjust a little bit as needed, as we did in this room. This room has a rafter or a truss right down the center of it. So I wanted to put it in the center of the room, and I couldn't, so I had to adjust to the left for that. We were going left or right. We decided to do left of center, just because the washer and dryer here is whatever. So we're in the laundry room, and we're going to do that. We took the old light down, which was a 4-foot fluorescent bulb, and we're going to install some LEDs in this room. And so we're going to put 2 lights in, vice the one in the center. So I've already secured the power, I've checked it, I cut the wire up in the attic, so that one will just come out, and I placed the wire I'm going to use right directly over my head. I cleared the insulation away in the attic where I'm going to work to make sure there's no ducts, make sure I'm clear of the truss system, etc., or any other obstructions on both spots where I'm going to put my lights to make sure I don't cut a hole and then say, oops, I made a mistake. So I did was we decided in this room we were going to do 35 inches out from the wall. So I marked 35 inches. The truss is at 41-ish, so it gives me plenty of room for a 5-inch can. And I did 50 from the end, and I did 50 from the opposite end. And so, like I said, if you look them up online, there's calculators in there. Get your size of your room, and you can figure out what that is. So first thing we're going to do. We got our spot marked. I popped a hole in it with awl. And how I found my spot in the attic is I put my awl in, and it held by itself. Now it won't because it made the hole too big. Put my awl in, and I went in the attic and started sifting through the insulation to find the spot. I knew approximately where it was, but this helped me find it. Scraped my hand. Another good thing is a wire hanger, coat hanger works, or a long skinny dowel you can stick up through there, and really easy to find through the insulation, which I've done before. So I've installed my thing. I've adjusted my drill to for the 5-inch can, and what I do is put the center pin in the hole where I've made it ready, and it has a direction arrow on the thing around, so which way I'm going to go. So it says I'm going to spin it around to the right. So I'll get set, start drilling a little bit of hole, and you want to get up. Let me move my ladder a little bit, get a better angle on it. And you might have to adjust your ladder while you're working. So, but just get up here, and it tells you to go that direction because that's the way it's going to cut now. So I got it in, and just work it around. You can back up. I try to back up every couple inches, just clear the gallery out. And it's not going all the way through drywall, it's like just shy of the half-inch thick of drywall is. And so you could use a utility knife to cut through all the way, and it gets you a good clean edge. Yeah, a little bit more. There we go, that's ready. And like I said, I already cleaned the spot up above. Utility knife out to finish the cut. And I will have probably a little bit of all through. Or you could go back in the attic and cut this also, just to make sure your insulation is still clear. The last one I did go back in the attic and cut. Could use a little bit longer blade. There it goes. And you can either leave that in the attic or pull it down. First thing I'm going to do is find my wire to make sure I got it. And here it is, wire. One thing the Can-Lite does not come with is a 3/8 wire adapter that you need to put in the can itself. So I'm going to open this up. Inside the can, it's just a plug and play on the wires. You strip into the wire and stick them into the holes adjacent to where the black and white. So I'm going to pop out one of these little plugs. And put in this wire adapter. Put the nut on the inside. Place. And when you tighten it up, you probably want the tightening screws for the wire facing up so you can get at them decent. If you got to do it in the attic or not, and typically you can do it from down below here. So it's got a ground, a place for a ground, a place for the black wire, which is the hot, and a place for the white wire, which is the common or the neutral. All right, so I'll get up here. There it is. Oh, I should have added that to my list. Stripping tool. Wire strippers come in very handy for this job. So the first little bit I just cut with the utility knife just to get started. And pull back about 3 or 4 inches. And cut off your excess of the shielding. And you typically for this Can-Lite, you need about a ½ inch or so. So I'm going to square them all up to even. And now I'll just take about a little bit off the edge so they're all the same length. And this is a 14 gauge wire, so I'm going to use the number 14 slot and cut off about a ½ inch of the insulation. Oh, we have the insulation come out of the attic. There we go. Work back these screws off a little bit. We're going to snake this wire through. You could do it before or after you strip. It's probably a little bit easier to strip without it being in there. But sometimes this gets tangled up in the wires as you're going in. Just enough to get in there. Don't need a lot. And snug down this on the wires. And at this point, it's going to hang on to it so you can actually let the can go if you wanted, but you might get a shower of insulation out of the attic. Good and snug so it doesn't slip and vibrate around in there. And then just rotate this insert up and pop your wire in place. And you can just do it by hand, it's not too difficult. And you can attach multiple lights together. So there's slots for 3 different wires, so you could chain them together. You can put 2 other sets of wires in here to connect other lights, and then so on, connecting other lights to them also. So I got all 3 wires connected up. Give them a little tug, make sure you're tight, and then lock it down, slide it up in the hole. These little flappers are what are going to hold this thing in place. There's two flappers in it. So you work it up in the hole. It's good and snug. If you have to, because the flapper does stick out a little bit, you might take a utility knife or a screwdriver and just kind of give it a little way forward there, which mine's a little tight. You can make it a whole bit bigger, just notch it right there a little bit with a utility knife or, like I said, a screwdriver, just to make a space. And up we can go. It's got a little rubber gasket around it, so it sits good inside the hole. And now, take the cordless drill, and we'll tighten up the screws. It'll make those flappers flap out and pull it down snug against the ceiling. But you just want to do it real gently. You want to over tighten it because it could crush your drywall and make them work. And then you got more work to do. So just nice and easy until it's snug. That looks pretty good. All right. And there's directions on how to adjust the inside, but the ones I've put in so far, I haven't had to do that. They're pretty much set at the factory. Take out the plastic cap, comes in the receptacle, and actually that's just a receptacle like an incandescent light. And the kit comes with some pieces in it, in case you have to make an adapter. Didn't use these on this kit. What we're going to do is we're going to screw this up into like it would be a light bulb. This can is a 5-inch. This receptacle is for a 5 or a 4 or a 5-inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen it and adjust it down to a 5-inch can size. So we just got to loosen the screws and push these in. And push it all the way in. Now it'll fit a 5. Hopefully we did everything right. We should be able to turn the switch on in just a moment. And if you want to take these off to do maintenance or whatever, to paint the ceiling or whatever, you don't have to unscrew it. You can just unplug it. There's a little plug on it, and you can let it go that way. So it makes it easy there. All right, so once you get it up in here, you can see there's a couple of little prongs inside here that hold on to these. So you got to compress these little legs and feed them into those little retainers, and then they'll allow you to pull the light down and or push it up and down. So there it is, and then push it up in place. Perfect. Done. Let's try our light out. Let's see which switch that one is. No, not that one. There we go. Light installed, quick and easy. Our power was at the light switch, so I didn't have to worry about turning the circuit breaker off, and as long as nobody turns power on while I'm working. So the light is installed. And like I said, we were about 15 minutes, pretty quick job if you have the right tools. Okay, like I said, we got all our tools. You can get them online and they'll be listed in the description below where all these products are available. I appreciate you joining us today, and check us out at kpanhome.com.